So, welcome back to my channel. I am Jason, and this is from Sinn's Perspective Reviews. And this is going to be just a quick recap of Insatiable Season 2, Episode 9, Lady Bomb. Okay, a lot happened, a lot of back and forth. Okay, so, we know that the last episode ended with Rudy kidnapping Coralee. So, it's like, okay, what the hell is going on with Coralee? He's going to kill her? Is he the pageant killer? What's going on? Okay. So, it opens up a cabin in the woods. He has Coralee tied to a chair. Doctor walks in. I think it was Dr. Duffy, Dr. Huffy, whoever it was that removed Angie's breast implants. I think that's the same doctor. He doesn't want to kill, so Rudy doesn't want to kill Coralee. He wants her to have an abortion. So he called the doctor in to basically make that happen. Okay. And she was basically, and then he starts recapping how he's been in love with both Bobs for a while now. And then he starts to go into how it happened. And basically, he's been following them for the better part of a year. He was actually in the bathroom when Barnard finally declared his feelings for Armstrong. And they kissed for the first time. He was actually in the bathroom in one of the stalls. And that's when he first saw them and fell in love with both of them and wanted both of them. So, throughout this time, throughout the ups and downs and all the turmoils of their relationship with both Bobs and then Coralee and her marriage, he's been around, okay? And so his chance meeting with Armstrong at the gym wasn't a chance meeting, it was planned. So that's when Armstrong slept with him in the locker room. Okay, so Armstrong, okay, so Rudy basically used Coralee's phone to send a text saying that she just needed some time away. Because, you know, she talked to him, said it was a lot going on, the pregnancy, the whole thing. So, after everything that happened, I mean, it wasn't so far-fetched. Okay, so, we see Armstrong, he gets the text. But he's there working on his points for the debate. And Angie shows up. And she basically tells him that you have to win. If you don't, then Barnard is going to drain the swamps. And then she finally told, she told him everything except Patty's part. Basically, she blamed everything on herself about the drugs in the titties and the whole thing. And if he doesn't win, and they're gonna drain the swamp and the whole thing, she's gonna end up going to prison. Okay. She left out the part where they used his gun, because remember he gave Patty his gun. Oh no, he gave Angie his gun because he didn't want to be tempted to use it, the whole thing, and his mom, the suicide, the whole thing. So they used his gun to kill the drug dealers. Okay, she left that part out. so Patty is now, she's at home, and she receives the crown. She's the only person left, so she gets the crown, and so she's going to represent them in this in the big pageant or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. And so Nonnie shows up, and so Nonnie is emotional, and she finds out that she didn't get into the college of her choice because they found out that she had blackmailed the guy who attacked Patty. And so she was saying now they're saying her character is questionable. So she didn't get into the college, and she's now obviously depressed and upset and the whole thing. And so Patty was like, you know what? You know, let's do whatever you want, anything you want to do today. So she decided she wanted to do the ghost tours of Atlanta. So Patty and so they show up. It was this goth-looking young girl who's doing the tours. It's this old raggedy. I mean, it's not like a upscale kind of hard thing. That she kind of has this old hearse that looks kind of tacky or whatever. But it's what Nonnie wants to do. She's into that kind of stuff. And so the young lady who's running the tour, she's kind of flirting with Nonnie, and she wasn't really catching it because, you know, she just broke up with Dee, and then she, you know, disappointment of the college. And so Patty had to point it out to her. I think she's, you know, flirting with you, and, you know, this whole thing trying to draw attention to it. But of course, they were flashing back and forth. So they go through the whole tour. They go to, they eventually get to the cemetery, and the lady starts telling them about this, about some twins that died, So Nonnie goes off with the girl, and as you know, Patty gets a text, but it's the text on Christian's phone because she's just Christian's cell phone communicating with his parents. Basically saying that, you know, his money, you know, he's sorry he's been out of touch, money's running low, he loves California, he's never coming back, But while she's doing this, she can see like her conscience is playing with her again, like Gordy. She now sees Christian, and Christian is kind of taunting her a little bit. And so they continue the tour. They arrive at the gator bog, just where they dump the bodies. And the lady doing the tour, she was like, oh, there's actually no gators in there. There hasn't been for a long time. And so, of course, Patty was like, okay, so no gators, so nothing to eat the bodies. Okay, and then this is when Patty first finds out that Barnard wants to drain the swamp. So, of course, she tries to call her mom, can't get through. So she ends up running off and stealing the lady's car to go to the debate to tell her mom about the whole thing. So, of course, Nonnie and the girl, they're kind of stuck there. So the lady was like, oh, there's a gas station up the road. So they kind of went up, walked a little bit. And I guess during their time, they kind of walked and talked, you know, got to know each other. Okay. So Barnard, he's at his house and he's working on his debate. Magnolia walks in and he starts talking. And he asked her if she wanted to come to the debate. And if they decided that during the intermission that her and Brick would do some of their magic. Whatever, just to entertain the crowd during the intermission. So during this time, he found her YouTube page, and he scrolls down, and he saw a clip of when Armstrong was in the strip club with Bio Bro Henry and Patty, and the strippers were behind him, thrusting and doing all this kind of stuff with the crotches and stuff all on his head. So he saw this clip, and then you can see the wheels turning. Okay, so we're gonna put a pin in that. So, there's this lady, this lady sitting in a roost, I don't know, some kind of bird costume in the cafe. And so the lady comes over and asks if if she wants to order something, and she ends up getting mad at the woman because the woman called her the wrong type of bird, and she's like, I'm this type of bird, you bitch. And I mean, she was just it was vagina. So next thing you know, who walks in? Shelby. So Shelby, she waves Shelby over, and now they're talking about, okay, what are they going to do as far as getting the money? And so they Shelby Regina had to tell her that there is no money because Coralee hasn't sold anything yet. So now they have this bright idea that they're going to steal the tampoozles from her and sell them themselves and obviously keep the profit. So now they're figuring out how they're going to make this happen. Okay, so now we're at the debate. So the Armstrongs and the Barnards come out. So you have Brick, you have Bob and Brick, they come out. And of course, Bob and Magnolia, they come out. And the lady, the moderator, she was basically going over the rules. And I mean, I swear to God, it was like she was speaking another language. They was like, she was going over them so fast, and they're like, okay, what the hell is she talking about? Okay, so she said, okay, so you guys gonna do rock, paper, scissors to see who will go first. But it seemed like forever in the day, they both rock, paper, scissors, scissors. Scissors, scissors, scissors. It was over and over and over again. So eventually the crowd's like, oh my God, what the hell? So then she said, okay, no more rock, paper, no more scissors, only rock, paper. So now they keep doing paper. So she was like, okay, forget that. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Whoever gets closest wins. They both say 5. So she's like, okay, you know what? We're just going to go in alphabetical order. So Armstrong ends up going first. And his platform is basically loyalty and dedication. I think that was basically the crux of his platform. And so, of course, the crowd is like, after he did his little speech, everybody's like, okay, yeah, they cried. So I was like, he was, okay, they're feeling them. They're feeling them. So then it was Armstrong's turn. And his whole thing is law and order. You know, he was a DA, and of course he didn't want to become just a defense attorney, I think he was. And so he has a history in, and so his thing is law and order. Okay, so then he talks about how he's always held himself to a certain standard, and then he shows the video of Armstrong with the strippers in the crotch and putting the money in the G-string. He was like, well, okay, capitalism. He was like trying to brush it off. He was like, no, that's actually paying for an undocumented immigrant. And so now it's like, oh hell. So his whole thing has just been torpedoed. So they think it's been torpedoed. Okay. So of course they're flashing back and forth. So around this time, I think Rudy walks in and he sits in the crowd. So Coralee, now it's Coralee and the doctor. And so he's getting himself together, and then there's a noise. And then Coralee's like, what the hell? Is there somebody else here? So he goes to see what the noise is. She finally gets free. And he comes back up. She jumps up. And somehow she convinces this idiot that this tampoozle is actually a bomb. And this guy is all freaked out. And he's jumping around hiding. And she's trying to get out, but she can't get out because the door's locked. So she ends up going into the basement. And who the fuck do she see chained in the basement, looking a hot ass mess? Rolls half in her head, just tacky. Stella Rose. So Stella Rose didn't die. She was like, that guy kidnapped her from the woods and has had her locked in that basement all this time. And he calls her mommy, and it's just a whole sick thing, right? So Coralee gets the keys. She gets Stella Rose loose. The guy eventually comes down. They're hiding in the closet this time. The only way they can get out is through him. So they jump his ass, beat him down, and Coralee grabs the gun because he had a gun. And Stella Rose was like, you're not a killer. So she put her hand down, and Stella Rose took this this snowboard that she was using as a crutch because she kind of has a limp, and she basically knocks the shit out of him, knocks him out. And yeah, they look digging for the keys, whatever, to get out. Okay, so the crowd, basically at this point, the crowd is turned on Armstrong. So during the intermission, Magnolia and Brie comes out, they're doing their little thing. Okay, so Rudy ends up confronting Barnard because, of course, he's in love with both of them. So he's like, how could you do that? That was so below the belt, da, 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 da. And he was like, you know, I think you owe him an apology. And Barnard was like, no, he's my competition. No. He was like, you know what? I got this room. It's all ready. So after the debate, you can come over, da, da, da. So he's playing this whole thing, right? Because in his mind, he's delusional, right? It's going to be him and the Bobs. And then he goes over to Armstrong and was like, I can't believe he did that. That was so terrible. That was so underhanded. Da, da, da. He gives Armstrong the same line about how he has this hotel room and it's going to be this, that, and the third. Okay. So Angie eventually walks in and she was like, what the hell was Rudy doing here? And she was like, oh, he's hitting on me. She was like, seriously? And he got offended, like, what, are you trying to say I ain't hot enough to get a guy like Rudy? And then she was like, you know what? I think Barnard sent him in here to throw you off. It's a setup. And then, of course, Armstrong was like, being Armstrong. And so she was like, I know there has to be some dirt on him. And he didn't want to say it, but he eventually said, he told them that about Barnard, giving Stella Rose hush money for 20 years to keep Roxy a secret. And so it's time for the candidates to go. Around this time, Patty walks in and she was like, well, why didn't you tell me that he was going to drink the thing? And did you tell him? And then of course, Armstrong was like, wait a minute, you told me she didn't know. And then did you tell him about the gun? He was like, what gun? My gun? I didn't give you my gun so you could kill drug dealers, da, 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 da. And so it's a whole thing, but now it's time for him to go back out. And so the question was surrounding family values. And so he was kind of beating around the bush. He really didn't want to say. Angie basically stormed out, kind of pushed him out the way, and she was about to say it. He covers her mouth. Coralee walks in with the cops, like, where the fuck is Rudy? He kidnapped me and tried to make me have an abortion. The Bobs are looking at each other like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant. Like, who the daddy? And then there was the idiot police officer. So he's there. And of course, Rudy just knocks the shit out of him with the butt of the gun, knocks him out, grabs Coralee, has her at gunpoint. Oh, Lord. Okay, so has her at gunpoint. And, yeah, so we can come back to that. So we have Shelby and Regina. They done broke into their house. Broke into the Armstrong's house. And they see the tampoozles all cut up. Now, remember, Bob thought that Coralee had basically just destroyed his clothes, so he got the tampoozles was trying to cut them bitches up. And so right away, Regina knew. She was like, she hates Bob Armstrong ever since they were kids. They used to be friends, but then she had some secret that he blabbed to everybody, da da da. She hates him, and she's been planning for a long time to get him back, and da da da. And Shelby was like, I think we should plan some kind of prison, something. And I don't know what she said something. I don't even know what the hell she's talking about. But but Shelby was like, you know what? First she said, no, don't do anything because I already got something planned. Then she said, you know what? You do what you want. So she's like, I'm going to get the car. So she's still wearing this damn bird costume. So, okay, so we're back at the debate. It's a lot going on. Back forth. Okay, so we're back at the debate. Coralee, so we have the officer on the ground. He's bleeding. Now, we already know how blood affects Barnard. He sees blood, he passes out. So, initially, Barnard was taking charge, and it looked like he was going to be the one to kind of subdue Rudy until he saw the officer on the floor with the blood. So, he started to get dizzy. Armstrong, if somebody passes out, then he passes out. So, of course, Coralee is like, oh, my God, both these guys are going to be on the floor. So, Barnard passes out. Angie gives Armstrong this drug, something he snorted. They gave him the power of 10 men. He ends up taking Rudy down. And he hugged Coralee. And Coralee, I guess she bent down to see how Barnard was doing because he was just flat out on the damn floor. And Angie runs up and she kissed Armstrong on the mouth. And she kissed him back. And it was like this passionate kiss. So, and Patty's standing there. It was just a whole scene, right? So, Nonnie and them, they eventually get to the debate. And, of course, Nonnie apologized for, so, of course, okay, yeah, now they apologize for Patty stealing the lady's car. She was like, oh, that's fine. You know, this is fun. This is, you know, most fun I've had in a while. And Nonnie so Nonnie ends up kissing her. And she asked her out, and she said, yeah. So they get in the car. They're about to pull off. They're riding down the road. Regina's dumbass is rolling across the street in this fucking bird costume. They almost hit her ass. And next thing you know, she had to slam on brakes. So what you saw was a cell phone, and something else hit the floor. And so they were like, is that a bird? What the hell? Like, they're looking crazy. They don't know it's Regina. They just, like, some idiot in a damn bird costume running across the damn road almost got killed. So Nonnie picks up the phone. She was like, wait a minute, this is Patty's purse. She was in such a hurry to leave. Nonnie still had her bag that had Christian's cell phone in it. And so now she's like, this is Christian's cell phone. Why does Patty have Christian's cell phone? And you see Nonnie's face like, oh my God. So it's like, okay, the wheels are spinning. Okay. So now back at the Armstrong home, you kind of see Patty. She's walking down the hall, and she's kind of going over the, I didn't expect the whole, obviously nobody expected Angie and Armstrong to kiss. It was the whole thing. She was like, it was kind of weird, but it was fine. So she hits the corner, and who does she see in her house? Stella Rose. And of course, she stopped dead in her tracks, and that's how this episode ended. So it was a lot of stuff that happened in this episode. So it's like, okay, they've already caught Rudy. They still haven't caught the pageant killer. Who the hell is that? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and watch this last episode because I do want to get these out before the new year. So I'm going to end this here, and I will talk to you guys later.